So, after giving the entirety of Ninjago Dragons Rising Season 3 some time to think about, it just made me realize that I am extremely concerned for the future of the show. Though I like this season more than others, there was clearly a lot more imperfections in Season 3 when comparing it to previous seasons of Dragons Rising. At most, the first two seasons had underwhelming moments for some side characters, and no development for some of the ninjas. But Season 3 had some glaring problems like its villains. If you want to see my detailed thoughts, watch any of these videos of mine where I explain my problems, but now that we got that out of the way, I want to bring out some of my concerns for the future of the show. Now, the main villain of the show, Lord Ross, is nothing short but fantastic.
Say that again?
He is very well built up, his motivations are very valid, just to bring justice to his people for not being saved from the Forbidden Five, and supposedly bring back everyone who lost their kind to the merge, because that's how he feels, and undoing the merge is what will get him there. At least that's what I got from his motivation so far. I don't know what you guys thought. But the point is, the way Ross is set up is fantastic. We get a lot of focus on him and his developing plan, making him easily one of Ninjago's greatest villains of all time. So I don't have a problem with the main villain for the ongoing story. What I do have concerns for are the required seasonal villains for every year. Because since this is a LEGO show, they are required to have a unique set of villains for every season in order for each wave of set to be unique and get people to buy the sets. Because, you know, money! I already expressed my disappointment with the Forbidden Five and Thunderfang in my review of Season 3, and it made me realize that the writers are not indestructible in terms of creating stories. So I fear that aside from Ross, that the next set of villains have the chance to be considered as afterthoughts. And now that I think about it, a lot of the villains for Dragons Rising aside from Ross kind of seem like afterthoughts. Beatrix was just a pure psycho evil dictator villain, so we don't really expect much from her, so that's why her defeat was actually satisfying due to her being annoying. But if you look much deeper into that, there really is nothing much to her, just pure evil. The Wolf Warriors are cool for what little screen time they get, but after Season 2, they are just completely forgotten about and are refused to be acknowledged. Actually, no, half of Season 2, they barely got any screen time in the second part of Season 2. And after that moment, they were completely forgotten about, never mentioned again. Not even where the Wolf Warrior Shadow Dojo thing went. That was never acknowledged ever again, but maybe it's gonna be Season 4, because, you know, of Sora, Frack, and Wildfire in that realm area. But yeah, hopefully they get acknowledged there. The Forbidden Five are also just pure evil villains who want to cause chaos because why not, and we get nothing much from that. Thunderfang was the most complex villain of the bunch, and he ends up being the second most disappointing of the four, because we understand his motives, because that's all he does, explaining his motives, and then he explodes in a pathetic fashion, because he kept monologuing. So, to sum it up, I don't have high expectations for the upcoming side villains for the next season, because in the end, I will probably say that Ross is superior to them. Now, Dragons Rising so far has been great when it comes to developing and updating the old ninja, especially to new fans. Nia and Kai are secondary main characters to Lloyd, Aaron, and Sora, so they get a lot of screen time and moments that really brings out their siblinghood a lot more than previous seasons of the original show. Jay's entire arc of him losing his memory is a great way for the writers to slowly fix some mistakes they made with Jay's character before and have him improve in a not-so-traditional way. His entire journey of rejoining the ninja is just fantastic and is done a lot better than most stories I've seen that involves memory wiping. Cole gets a new purpose in life with him becoming a family man, with him adopting the Finders as his new family next to the ninja. But then we have Zane, whose main mission in the show was to find Pixel, and that's it. That's his entire mission throughout the entire show. Aside from Season 1 where his main motivation was to figure out how to stop the merge quake, with that task resolved, he's back to just thinking about Pixel. Like, I get she's your girlfriend, but I'm pretty sure you got better things to do besides standing around in the background. Nia was in a similar situation to Zane, and they did an absolute better care and job with her considering she's apparently the least popular ninja in the fandom. I just have little faith that the writers can do justice to Zane anymore. Most glimmering amount of hope for Zane's character was when he found Pixel in Season 3, and he ends up displaying a side of his character we don't see a lot of. And when I first saw that, I was like, are they finally gonna let Zane be something now? But no, the entire episode ends with another Zane fake-out death and resets his character back to his boring self that the writers want to keep him in. And all that personality we saw a few minutes ago is just gone for the rest of the season. I just really hope that when the writers eventually bring back Zane, they'll bring back that side of him, but the fact that they decided to take Zane out of the season the moment he finds Pixel is not giving me a lot of hope in his development. So far, what made Dragon's Rising so great was the fact that it was a serialized show with a story that will span multiple seasons, unlike the original show, which was self-contained stories per season. So with a serialized story comes setups and build-ups of new arcs not introduced in the first season, like Ross's Master, Aaron leaving the ninja, the death of a Source Dragon, Sensei Wu's fate, the disruption of the balance of the merged lands due to the absence of 3 other Source Dragons, the Dragon Icons, Ross taking over the portal gates and holding Wu hostage, or the infamous Fraudulent 5, which are a great example of why this is a concern of mine. All of these moments when they get set up was pure hype, and it got me excited, wanting to see what's gonna happen next and how they will wrap this up. And it can really only go 2 ways. It will either end up being peak like Aaron's betrayal arc, or weak like the Forbidden 5's arc. And so far, most of these stories have not been concluded yet. All of these moments are just pure anticipation in the moment. Ross so far is an amazing villain, but there is a chance that the conclusion of his arc and reveal of his master can just be underwhelming. The effect of the absence of the Source Dragon Council is a very intriguing plot point, but can have a very messy conclusion. Wu's reason for causing the merge is interesting, but his reason for causing it could be very stupid and will all just lead to another Master Wu didn't tell the ninja about something he knew about centuries ago type scenario. So what I'm saying in this section is that I am scared. I'm concerned for the future of Dragon's Rising. Though the show is still currently being able to maintain its quality, there are some cracks starting to show. And who knows whether Doc White and Kevin Burke can really pull it off. Yeah, I don't really know how to end this video, so just subscribe and watch my other videos because that's how the algorithm knows that you like my stuff. Okay, that's it, bye.